Welcome to another episode of Bobby's Cryptid Corner. I'm Bree.
I'm Jamie.
And I'm Bobby of the
Yes.
Cryptid Corner.
He said it this time. He introduced
We're
himself.
actually going to talk about cryptids this time.
We are. But before we talk about cryptids, I think that we're going to have another show and tell because I think we all really enjoyed that recently. And I think, Bree, I really want you to go first.
Okay. I did bring out my other... Remember last week I was burning the Ajna candle I told you guys about?
Yes.
Today I've of course burning that, but I'm almost done with Manipura. This is our sacral chakra that we talked about. I always need that. Fire expression activates sight. And then I brought you guys my 5-year-old painting.
Yes.
My inner 5-year-old.
I don't think it looks like a 5-year-old.
Well over audio.
I know, right?
No, it won't, but tune into the YouTube.
It's okay. I will describe it for the people.
Oh,
Wow. My 5-year-old painting that I did.
It is a UFO over the Joshua Tree Desert.
You did it 5 years ago, or you painted it when you were 5?
I feel like I'm a 5-year-old
who painted
trying
this.
to paint. And this is what I came up with.
Yeah.
I think the 5-year-olds would do a much more terrible job than that.
Yeah, I was thinking, I think if anything, maybe I would say like maybe a 16, 17-year-old.
Okay. So
yeah.
Me.
Yeah. I think it looks
I'm
great.
still going to put it on my wall.
I love it. I think you guys should make copies of it and sell it on the...
And sell it, yeah.
On the
So,
that one time I was abducted by aliens store.
We need a shop.
Website.
I really want us to start a creative segment since I'm starting my creative wall. I really want Bobby and Jamie to buy some cheap Dollar Tree paints like I did, and then we can sell our shitty alien art. No, we can show each other, but my theory today,
what if we give them away to listeners? What if we give them away?
Well, we could definitely do that, but if I had time today, I told Jamie I was going to paint one of the things that we're talking about today. So next week I will have that. I still want to do it. So that would be kind of cool if we talk whatever subject we're talking about, if you're inspired to do something and be like,
be a little creative. Yeah. And you know what? Bobby is a pretty good artist. I've seen some of his work before.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I guess. I like to draw more than
he draws.
Anything. Did you guys watch the documentary Love and Saucers by chance?
Yes, a long time ago.
Very long time ago.
About David Huggins. If you go on his
alien
website,
fucking?
Yeah, his art is
Red
so
Bush.
badass. I
Red
really
Bush.
want to buy some of his art because
it's really good.
So good and so weird.
I want it on shirts. That's where I want it.
I save it to my Pinterest account. I have I
many,
probably have everything you've done on my Pinterest
We've talked
account.
about him before on the show.
I'm sure.
And so and Bree's sent it. She's like, look, see.
I will own an original Huggins one day.
All right, let's make it a goal. Manifest it. Manifest that shit.
Should we interview him?
Sure.
We should. Is he alive?
I think he's still alive.
Yes, he's alive. He's not even
He's pretty old.
I thought he was old.
Yeah, he was in his 70s when that movie came out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Love and Saucers.
My grandpa is almost
it's
80 and he's still working. So
that's true. That's very true. Okay, wait. Are we ready for the next show and tell? I have a lot going on here, you guys.
Okay.
I got a lot happening, and I showed you guys a little preview in our group chat that we have, but I wanted to show the audience. So I went shopping on Saturday, which happened to be 9/11. And the first thing I want to show you guys is my tourmalated quartz. So it's quartz with tourmalate rods inside of it. See, it's like, ooh, so pretty, right? Okay, so what? Tell me, ask.
What is tourmalate? Is it the little black things in there?
Yes.
Okay.
Quartz is the white, right? So they give you these little cards that tell you what it's about. And when I buy these, they give you these cards at the end. When I buy these, I don't look anything about what they are. I feel them and I vibe. Bobby asked us, he was like, well, what crystals? I told him some. Bree was like, just go vibe and pick some. So I picked some and I look at what they mean later. And this one happens to say that it can be used to guard against terrorist attack and to heal the effects of such an attack. So I thought it a little interesting that I bought a 9/11 crystal on 9/11. And to be fair, does this crystal not give you 9/11 vibes? Totally.
Riki got very topical.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yes. I mean, it does other things. It also has the ability to go beyond dualities and to integrate the shadow into the whole personality. It's supposed to neutralize psychic attack. So it does other things, but I was like, come on, you guys, 9/11, my 9/11 crystal.
It literally says terrorist attacks, though.
Yeah.
It's just, I think,
Like a ploy. That's fine, but I
Yeah.
didn't know. But I didn't know that
It's
that's
all
what
a
it was
ploy.
when I bought it, right?
well, yeah. So yeah.
Oh,
so
wow, that's
like
kind of cool.
realistically,
Synchronicity.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Quartz is our universal stone. Tourmaline, black tourmaline is great to combat negative energy,
Mhm.
keep these types of like enemies away. So together, I could understand why they could sell it that way, but it was
Yes.
definitely for marketing reasons.
I
think,
agree with
why
you.
they
But the
were like-
Probably like-
synchronicities
the synchronicity is out of control.
out of control. And that's not where they stop, all right?
And that's
So
not where you. That's not why you bought it, right?
No, again, I don't get these. Do you get these little pieces of papers? They put them in your bag when you leave. So I didn't even read this until literally right before I said debris. I didn't even look at any of them. I was like, oh my God, look at this bullshit. All right. So the next one we have is appetite. We have appetite here. This one's my favorite. It looks like the beach to me.
Is
I'm
there an
just so
appetite suppressant one for
suppressant.
me?
It's
I
fucking
need the diet
gorgeous.
Reiki crystals.
Why would you say that, Bobby? You're literally perfect.
Literally so
Oh, wow.
cute. Literally so cute. All right, everybody, what this one is? It's a stone of manifestation and helps develop psychic gifts and spiritual alignment. Oh, it's about learning about yourself. So we love that one. That one wasn't super like synchronicity, but like I just really wanted that one. I knew exactly what that one was. I was like, that stone is so pretty. The next weird one is more synchronicity weird shit. So this next one I got is a Bumblebee Jasper. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it inside this case, and I can take it out if we really need to, but as you can see,
Wow.
right, it is yellow and jaspery. Now for some reason I decided to put it inside this little case thing to hold it up. It does sit up on its own if I really wanted it to, and I didn't read these stupid papers until just a little bit ago. And then let me tell you about this bullshit. It says that Bumblebee Jasper is actually a combination of volcanic matter, hematite, and sulfur. The yellow coloring is due to the presence of sulfur. We recommend washing your hands after handling your Bumblebee Jasper stones since it's very toxic.
And was only discovered in the 1990s.
So I was glad I put it inside something, so I intuitively knew to not fucking touch that motherfucker. So that's good.
So you got these on 9/11.
I got these on 9/11.
Have you noticed any changes in your chakras or anything?
I did. This is gonna sound crazy to you, but I bought 2 of these stones, not just one for me, but one for the person I'm seeing too. He wanted one. He was like, I need one of these too. And not the same kind. He got a little square one. And I genuinely think that maybe by buying it, I stopped a terrorist attack from happening. Don't laugh at me, but I really think that. Don't. I think. What if I change the universe by doing that? I don't know.
No judgment, but that is fucking crazy.
I know. I'm just saying, in my own little bubble, I was like, what if the crystal did that? I don't know. I have no idea. But maybe it did that. But everything else, no, not yet.
Maybe.
Not yet, but maybe. Other than the toxicness of the bumblebee, it also helps us to stop worrying about how other people's view us. So stop judging me. So that one's useful. I feel less judged when I have it.
The bumblebee?
I feel like you don't have that problem though.
No,
The
it's very true.
bumblebee is activating your solar plexus too.
Oh, I was going to say, they do have the chakras on here. So the bumblebee is the solar and the sacral plexus. The appetite is the throat, third eye, and root. And the tourmalated quartz cleanses all, especially the root. Also, it is a nice zodiac stone of Scorpio.
Me.
Yes. Oh, you too?
Bobby, when's your
Oh, God.
birthday?
When's your
We don't have to
birthday?
do this, but can we do my star stuff?
Yes,
one day?
100%.
Oh my God,
100%.
wait, what's your birth time?
We'll just do it
See,
right
that's the
now,
thing.
Bobby.
You guys asked me that a while ago. I don't know
Probably,
the exact
but
time.
Why
But I
can't you
forget.
ask your mom?
I think it's like 2 PM, but I don't
But
know. Like
we need
You
to
need
know
to
the
know.
exact.
Yeah.
I know this. We've been over this before, but yeah.
What's your birth date?
November 18.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, right after
I'm
Breeze.
15.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
I feel so close to you now. I'm
It's a
so
Scorpio
curious to
vibe.
know like what.
What about you? Because they're so spot on. Ugh, it's horrible.
Yeah, I really want to, because I feel like this is a good place for me to bring you guys into my world with cryptids, and then you guys bring me into your world with
Yes.
all the weird hippie shit you guys are into.
There's a lot of
shit.
weird hippie shit.
I never thought I don't
Um,
consider
It's our woo woo.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
I mean, I'm a open-minded skeptic, but I'm not here to judge. I'm just curious.
I'm
You're here to
super
learn.
skeptical too, so that works.
I want you guys to make a case for astrology one of these days.
We will, and when we do your birth chart, you'll understand. Okay, Bobby,
Okay.
show us your show and tell.
Okay, so I've been to Roswell twice now.
Ooh,
That's fucking dope.
that's dope. Okay, why didn't you invite us? Why were we not allowed to come with you?
Well, I didn't know you the first time.
Okay, and the second time.
It was like a road trip with my dad during the pandemic.
Ugh,
So
okay.
The first time I went was we got there late the night before New Year's Eve, and I was like super stoked to go to the museum in the morning. Guess what? It was closed.
Of course.
And we had to go up to Santa Fe like later that afternoon. So I couldn't go. And then the second time was last summer during like August of last summer. Me and my dad were just like, fuck this. Let's get on the road and go do something. So we were on our way to visit my cousin out in Arizona. And we stopped in Roswell on the way back, I believe.
Oh my God, was
Anyway,
the museum closed again?
The museum was closed again.
God damn it.
But it was like false hope because I walked into the museum.
Oh,
and
like the store is open.
Yeah.
Oh, what the
This
fuck are
is
you
back when
doing
they were
here?
taking everyone's temperature, like no matter where you went.
Yeah.
And I was like all stuck. I was like, all right, it's open. And they're like, oh, the museum's closed. You can go in the gift shop though.
Oh no.
I was like, what? Then how does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So I felt bad for myself.
So you bought something?
I think my dad actually bought this for me. It's
Like,
made
bitch, I have
in-
Amazon.
Yeah.
It's made in
Croatia,
China. Vietnam.
Indonesia.
I think it's actually made in
Thailand.
the United States.
USA.
I swear it said made in China, but it says Arcadia, California now. So
Ooh.
yeah.
Different
Shut-
timeline.
Yeah, did you
But
say
it's,
now?
Ooh.
It's my alien skull
That's a
Let's
vibe. I
see.
love it.
from the Roswell
Museum.
Oh, dope.
Museum. It's pretty cool, huh?
Is it like clay, like what's it made out
Yeah,
of?
it's not like it's like
ceramic.
hard, it's not ceramic, but it's like really nice hard plastic. I think I don't
It's
know.
nice.
It feels like quality. It's
Yeah.
not like a toy. It's like a thing you put on your
Bite it really quick.
on your shelf.
Oh my God,
Hit
yeah.
it like
But I
a-
don't think that the Greys or anyone have teeth.
Can you hit
There's like
your teeth on
No.
the skull?
Like it's gold or something. Can you? Yeah, Bree wants to know the tooth sound.
I just want you to
it
try
makes.
to
it's
bite
definitely
it.
not gold. I think it was about $25.
Not bad.
So I think it's like really nice plastic. But
Okay, it's not bad.
Wait, turn it around. I need to see the back of the
Yeah,
skull.
what's going on back there? Some little dots.
that's literally the
Wow.
only like show and tell item I have for you guys.
That's like
ever.
super cool. Yeah, right. Your whole room is a show and tell.
Well, Bobby, here's the thing though. You're gonna have to start getting crystals and telling us if
God.
they change your life.
No, you just have
All
to
right,
make
yeah, I'm
weird
down.
art.
Maybe we should start sending you some in the mail to review. Maybe we should start sending you a weekly crystal or some shit.
All
No,
my
now
art,
that
my
Bobby
friends-
is an artist, he
Yeah,
needs
so you
to
are an artist.
display.
So draw us some aliens.
My
'Cause
friends all make
I'm
fun of
not.
me because all of my sketches are just like big titty comic book girls.
Oh, you could show us those.
Okay.
Because that's
maybe
what
I
you're
will.
into.
Is that what you're
What
into?
I'm into.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
That's so weird.
I'm into drawing the female form, I guess. But
Okay, well, can you?
I
draw
came
female
across
aliens?
this girl online and I was like,
I
what
could
the
put-
fuck? And then it was like followed by pimp.
Oh yeah, totally.
And I was
I'm
like,
sure you,
wow.
Okay,
sure you did.
Bobby.
I'm
I
sure you
would
did. I don't
fucking kill
I will
my
own that all day.
husband
What I will
if
do
he
is I will
followed that
just
account.
draw a buxom beauty and put just a gray alien head on him, and then that
Yeah.
will be appropriate for the
For
the
show.
store.
Or with a Bigfoot face.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hot.
might be into it. People are into Bigfoot fan fiction.
That's
The
true.
titties and stuff.
All right. Speaking of cryptids, what are we talking about tonight, you guys?
We're digging deep into the B-sides here because you wanted to do the Dover Demon, which is fine with me. We can talk Dover Demon all day.
I did.
Well,
I just
for,
I
like,
will I
about
was
20
like
minutes.
I'm gonna pick a random ass one, and so I just picked a random ass, not super crazy well known, but like a nice little chunk of a cryptid, who is truly considered a cryptid, considering it's not been seen by a lot of people.
And we get to see where it takes us because we can cover the history of it in about
20 minutes.
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
So the Dover Demon is a product of what's called the Bridgewater Triangle.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Y'all have done an episode on the Bridgewater
Yes,
Triangle.
we have.
And it made me obsessed. It made me obsessed
with that area.
We put it on our list of places we're gonna go.
We're gonna go.
Someone gives us a show, like they should,
like a TV show. Yes, where they follow us around
to crazy places, and that is some place that I want to spend like 2 weeks.
Well,
I
yeah,
am
a lot of
such
time.
Fiend for Bridgewater Triangle stuff, but there's not that much information on it. There's like one documentary dedicated to it, and there's like a couple books, all by the same guy.
All by the same guy. That's the problem. And he's not even really into it that super much. He's kind of like, yeah. This is what happened.
There are other
he's like,
groups
I'm
in
a
the area.
journalist or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
There's other groups in the area that do their own.
Well, yeah, a lot more passionate about it, yes, but they're not more well known. That's why when we get a TV show, we need to go there to cover it.
We should just go start shooting it ourselves.
I know this. Let's go on a little mini vacation. I feel like, Bobby, you would have a camera. I feel like you have some expensive camera equipment somewhere.
I definitely do.
Yeah, exactly. So perfect.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely
of course he does. Of course he does. Yeah. That's okay. We'll plan this off air, but all right. It's right behind him. I was like, it's right behind him.
It was right behind me for a while. But so do you guys want to touch on just the Bridgewater Triangle in general?
Yeah, Bree, take it. Just touch on it.
So we went over this though. Okay. Bridgewater Triangle is an area in Massachusetts where crazy shit happens. Jamie and I have come to the conclusion that it is for sure a portal, because you will find everything there, from cryptids to aliens to light balls, glowing orbs, apparitions. People see weird, like snake, creepy creatures. And then, of course, where I think it all starts is that there was a massacre of native tribes there. It was a huge moment in history between when the white man, the pilgrims, came and fought the native tribes. And the story that we went over is gruesome. There were thousands of tribesmen killed. And so there's also a legend that there could be some type of curse that went on there.
Right. And it was during King Philip's War, I believe,
yes,
which is one of the great forgotten American wars in the colonial times.
And they slaughtered them.
Slaughtered.
And I think that goes back to many places where we usually find these hot spots. When you dig a little bit, you always find that there's some tie to the natives of the land, where someone took advantage, exploited the land, killed the people, took over, and then all of a sudden it's like all the energy it's like a hellmouth. It just opens.
Can you give me sharing abilities, please?
Oh yeah, I believe that I do.
I do. Here
yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. You got it.
So check this out.
All right,
here's the
hit me, Bobby, because I'm going off memory.
Do you guys see it now?
Yeah, there we go.
So
and Satanists. We forgot about the devil worshippers. Weird Satanist activities.
Tons of Satanist activity, exactly.
Just south of Boston. It's a very hyper weird paranormal place. Like you said, you have everything from I believe there's Bigfoots out there. There's a lot of like weird little like structures, like almost like ritual sites.
Yep.
Then
places
there's
of like the witch. It's like the dark witch.
And
like
there's
weird homes.
A lot of mafioso hits apparently take place out there. Like you said, weird lights. This will come up again because one of my favorite deep cut cryptids of all time is called the Pukwudgie.
Oh, from there.
Which looks just like the fucking Hopkins monsters to me.
Yep.
See, I think that the Dover Demon is a little more like the Hopkins monster.
Oh,
but
okay.
we can discuss that in more detail eventually.
Yeah.
So it's south of Boston, Mass. It's I've been around here. I've driven through here. It's not
really.
Does it give you creepy vibes?
I mean, I guess like it's more the people that give me creepy vibes in this area. But yeah, you can go. Well, there's places to camp.
Maybe they're karmically trapped there.
But there's like the marshlands
there.
I feel like there's always creepy stuff that happens in like the marshlands and stuff where it's like different types of cryptids. And I feel like the mash
well, it's like you have this area where you have water meets land, and this opportunity where you can have land creatures like Bigfoot. You could have that middle ground creature who are like, you made these swampy sludgy things, and then you have these water kind of creatures. So you have this huge area where you can have all these different sightings of all these different kinds because of the environment.
Right. That is an excellent point, Jamie. Good observation.
There is a term for that. I can't think of it right now, but it's like where high concentration of high strangeness takes place in like a geographic area. I should have researched that before I even brought it up.
It's much like Skinwalker Ranch. Think about it, the same place. It's the Skinwalker Ranch. Sure. It's just a ranch that's an area that it happens in. But this it's almost the same type of activity is happening in this Bridgewater Triangle area. It's just a lot more populated. And so a lot more people are seeing it and communicating it, whereas something like Skinwalker Ranch is a lot more private, it's privately owned. So you're not hearing as much of what goes on there, but still kind of like that same portal-ish kind of all these different things are coming out of it.
Well, and there's thunderbirds. I feel like there's a rare, from what I know, I don't know too much, actually. I shouldn't say that, but I just feel like I don't come across too many stories where there's like sightings of thunderbirds, and some people's descriptions sound a little bit like Mothman to me. And
very much so, I agree.
Come across that a lot either.
So right here, more or less, smack in the middle, you see my cursor.
Yeah, is Dover.
Is Dover, Massachusetts. Now, I thought for some reason the Dover Demon was in Dover, Delaware. I think there's another one somewhere else.
It's in Massachusetts.
But yes, right in Massachusetts.
I can't say Massachusetts. So I say Massachusetts.
Let's go into Dover.
Okay, let's see.
Just a simple little New England town. Okay. So this is one of those stories that kind of comes from that time of high strangeness of like the Northeast into the Appalachians into like you were saying, the Hopkinsville stuff, that northeastern, the grand northeastern of the United States, not necessarily the Northeast proper, but that 1970s, like we talked about what's the crash in Philadelphia or in oh god, now I'm blanking, down here in Pennsylvania. Anyway, when we talked about I can't think of it right now.
Hopkinsburg?
No, that's in Kentucky. We did a whole episode, our first episode on it. Anyway, Dover is like one of those, or the Bridgewater Triangle is one of those hot spots of the Northeast, right? So, and for some reason, I don't know why, but all this stuff started to kind of bubble up in the 70s. I don't know if anyone has any theories on that as to whether or not that's just, news was a lot more accessible and advanced at that time, or people were more open to these ideas. But for whatever reason, in the 70s, this seems to have kind of had a
explosion.
Yes. So this was like 1977. There's only so many stories about this, but there was this kid, William Bartlett. He was like 17 years old.
Yep.
He's driving through the woods around the Dover area in the Bridgewater Triangle with two of his friends. His friends are chit-chatting, right? They're not even paying attention, but Bartlett is driving, and he more or less sees standing on, like, if you go to New England, there's all these weird old, I don't know if they're like colonial, I don't know if they're in this instance, but there's like these weird stone walls along the side of the road that look like they're from like colonial times. And he saw this creature with glowing eyes just standing on the wall, and when he hit it with its headlights, its eyes lit up, and it more or less kind of looked like Gollum, I guess, from Lord of the Rings.
Totally.
So let me show you guys.
I was like, I have the picture right here. Do you have it too?
Oh yeah, you go ahead and share them.
Let me see if I can see this one right there. Bam. I don't know why it's not bigger, but there we go. You see it?
Yeah. So no mouth, as you can see there.
Let me get
one of those things like just a very unnatural looking movement and gait just by looking at this picture. You could tell it was probably bipedal, but it was also probably crawled on all fours.
It looks, it's sitting on top of the stone, so it's probably like, you know, perched.
Yeah, incredibly upsetting. So the kid kind of stopped and asked his friends if they saw it. They were like, no, but let's go back and try to find it. It was gone by that point. Soon after that, I believe it was like pretty much all this happened within like 1 year or like 1 month, more or less. So that I want to say the next day or like soon after there at school, he ran into this guy, John Baxter, another high school friend of his, or guy.
It was the next day. It's
Yeah,
like April 21st and April 22nd.
It was like over a 24-hour period, I think, or 25-hour period.
Yeah, who had witnessed the creature the same night, like not too far away, and he was just walking down the street, like walking home from his girlfriend's house, and he thought, like, he saw the silhouette out in the distance and thought maybe it was his buddy or something, started calling out to it. Sure enough, he's like, 15 feet away from it, and saw this thing. I believe that drawing you just showed was his drawing, if I'm not mistaken. Or
that was Bill's drawing, the very first guy who saw it.
So yeah, let me show you John Baxter's drawing real quick, because it's pretty similar. It's just a little more crude, I guess. But this, like, the shape of it,
very similar,
looks almost like a gray,
but with these big long fingers. But
it seemed more like animalistic. Like it was not like an astute, no nonsense, intelligent entity. It was like more primal, right?
Yeah.
But still incredibly unnatural looking.
And standing up this time.
Yeah, standing up, feet mold to rocks.
Again, on the rocks.
On the rocks. Maybe that was quartz-based rocks, and he popped up through an interdimensional portal of sorts.
Through some crystals, yeah.
And then
I wouldn't like that to pop up, honestly. Like, truthfully with you, if that like popped up in my room and was like gripping some shit and was like staring at me, like, I don't know if I'd be into that personally. Right.
So before we get into the next sighting, which was the next night, any thoughts so far?
So far it sounds interesting, and I like that they both have these same pictures, and I wonder if they ever, like, did they draw these pictures separately? Did they talk to each other beforehand? These were teenagers, right? So one was 17, right? This next one was 15. So like, were they friends? Is this maybe something that they talked about beforehand? Because the shape of them are very similar. So the only two ways that something like that's going to happen is they saw the exact same thing, or that they meant to draw the exact same thing. So it's very... Yeah.
There's a lot of chum in the water for skeptics here, I think. I think
absolutely.
It's easily dismissed by people that don't want to subscribe to this kind of stuff. But then there was a girl the next night, 15-year-old Abby Brabham, who also saw it standing up
with their boyfriend.
To a tree. Right. Similar account and description. So again, this is really all the sightings I ever found, but it's just kind of in that town's lore now, as a cryptid of the area, the Dover Demon. Now, based on what you guys know about just high strangeness and things of that nature, what are our theories here? Any
well, there's a little bit more information I think that you need to know too, because when they started to do this investigation, one of the things that they happened to stumble across was that they mapped out all of these location sightings, because they had the exact streets and pinpoints of locations. And when they went to go map it out, it happened to be in a completely straight line over this 2-mile chunk of land. And so it was so interesting that it wasn't just like these random places that they saw it, that it was literally just, it was like almost that it was traveling over throughout this 25 hours, over this 2 miles through this straight fucking line. And so it was like interesting that then you have that on top of it. So it seems to me that there tends to be a little bit more organization, which again, is it because this is something that is organized by the people, or do we have like something a little bit more intelligent that's moving, maybe not in a way we would think, because maybe it's on the other side of the veil, so that 2 miles, it takes a lot longer to get through than like us walking the 2 miles. You know what I mean?
I think 2 miles for a, an entity that lives outdoors is a pretty good, a pretty good area for one night for
Yeah, so I mean, like
people to see it.
Like a 25-hour period, that's like a good chunk of it traveling. Exactly. Like laying low, taking a nap, doing it shit. And then again, you didn't have anyone seeing it until that next day. So I'm starting to feel like when you start to see that thing about the next day, it's like, okay, well, it's not like they all planned it all 3 on the same night. That would have been maybe a little bit more suspicious to me. It's interesting that it didn't just happen once. It was like continuing on.
Or just that it was the same street. I feel like it would, like, if someone made some story up now in your town, more likely they're going to give a different location. Like, well, I saw it over here.
Yeah.
But to be like, I was right here when I saw it, I think is different. I feel like that almost gives it more validity to the story to be like, well, I saw it on the same street, rather than saying that they saw it on a different part of town. I think if someone wanted to like just jump in a story, they would probably give you a different location to be like, I saw it over here too.
Yeah.
But they're saying, no, I saw it on the same street, basically.
Yeah.
Right. I think that the weirdness with this story, like you said, gives it more validity. And I think that it gives more credibility to it being some sort of weird creature, because it's all being seen in the same location, but it's only being seen within, what was it, 25 hours or 36 hours or something.
25. Yeah.
And then, like I said,
period.
there's very few, if any. I haven't really found anything else about sightings of this thing. So it's almost like this thing was, moving in and out of our space for a very limited amount of time. And it happened to be spotted. You'd think that if it was some sort of creature, like natural creature, maybe something mangy or something weird, that's just maybe an exotic pet is one of the theories.
That's yes.
Something like that that's misidentified. You'd think more people would have come forward and said, I saw that thing, beyond just within those 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but overall, the look of this creature is hairless, right? With a big head, a small childlike body. It's
big,
obviously
orange, glowing eyes.
Big orange glowing eyes,
Tendrils.
which I think if you guys are going to another story, maybe the eyes change colors. I think with Abby and Will's, it was green glowing eyes opposed to
the orange with
glowing eyes. So it's like, does the eye change color, or are we talking about 2 different entities of the same species that is being seen?
You can see eye shine. You can see in various
colors. Yeah, so maybe it was
animal.
like,
so
him seeing it in the headlights was more of an orange because his headlights were more orange,
right.
And maybe they were seeing it more under like maybe a street light, so it was more blue.
And this is April 21st. What if they're high as hell?
It's
just like going
true.
Over from 420. They're like, it was green, it was
that's
orange.
Definitely one of the skeptic theories, is that these are just high school kids fucked up
doing some shit, like
party or something. But like if you take a picture of a house cat, sometimes it will be developed as like a green glowing eyes, and other times it could be red, just on the light and the angle and everything. So I think that that's easily explainable. I think this was the same creature. One of the other skeptic things, which I don't buy, is it could have been like a baby moose. And I'm just like, I don't think that those things are very prominent in Massachusetts to begin with.
Do you know why they want to specifically say a baby moose?
No, do you?
Yes. Okay, so it's baby moose and horses in general. So anything that are born with hoofs like that, when they're born with like these tendrils over their hoofs to protect the moms. So they have these like very tendril-like looking hoofs. So the reason that they say specifically a baby moose is because, one, there are some moose around there, or some meese, however you say it, around
Mooses.
there. And that is the only creature that would have like, well, there's one other one, and the exotic pet route is the one you were going. They have this like tendril like hoofs, and so they're like, oh, well, you just saw a fucking baby moose on the side of the road.
Yeah.
I hate to say that
you low-key kind of agree. Like, it doesn't have the horns, the head kind of has a shape like it. I understand what you're saying.
No, I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, it's nighttime, it's dark, you're passing through, the headlights happen to shift across something. and you think that's what you saw.
And it makes sense that they only saw it for this 25-hour period, why it was slowly going through that area. I mean, if you are a skeptic, it does tend to lean that those type of things do tend to like add up. What do you think, Bobby?
Yeah.
It looks like in 1972, right before this, there was like kind of a similar sighting by Mark Sino, who said he saw this thing. I'm not sure if he came forward before or after this kind of got some notoriety, but again, glowing eyes in his car's headlights, small figure, deep in the woods. You know, a lot of these cryptid sightings are car sightings, like running in front of a car at night. And that's one of the big things too, is like there is like nighttime for humans is almost like it might as well be the depths of the ocean.
Yeah.
Because we don't, for the amount of time we do go out at night, especially deep into the woods or into nature, like we're not equipped to see and experience and perceive all the things happening.
100% agree.
So I feel like there's like probably a lot of nocturnal animals that we don't know about. Because animals in general are elusive, and then take light out of the equation, and then take human beings, you know, going into those areas because there's no light out of the equation. It's like there's like a whole world of mystery that opens up there. I think that if this is something paranormal, which if it's legit, I think it is something like maybe interdimensional, or even like a Hopkinsville goblin kind of thing, where like they live underground and come out at night. I don't know. This is a head scratcher, as Jim Harold would say.
Well, I do feel, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, it's so interesting that there's not a lot of sightings, but it's made a very big cultural impact. Like it's something that's talked about. Like you go to YouTube, you type it in, a bunch of videos come up about it. Somebody did like a really interesting like short horror film about it on YouTube.
Did you watch that?
It was low key kind of good. I was like, oh, okay, get it. Yes, I did. I loved it so much. I was like, all right, get it.
Reptilian. It looked like I loved a reptilian. I was like, what is this?
It was just, I just thought it was funny. I was just like, all right, get it, dude, live your life. But so it's like, it's a thing. There's comic books about it. It's like a creature that has these powers and these abilities. So it's like, it's interesting that it had such a big impact on pop culture and references to what we have in life. And it had such a very small blip in history that people even saw it. You know what I mean? I'm surprised that people aren't claiming to see it today, in all honesty.
Right. At least regionally it did. Like when you sent me the thing, you're like, I want to do it on this guy. I was like, oh, that's, the Dover demon. Like it vaguely rang a bell, but I'm not like an expert on it. I had to do some research, but there's not much research to it. But you're right. It's kind of like what we were saying about last episode about how the truth is one thing, but like the mythology that springs from that truth, or the folklore, or the impact on the surrounding communities can be more profound than what we're actually thinking of. And if you want to go down the route of like, let's say that it was a baby moose or something like that, like who's to say that this hasn't infiltrated the zeitgeist of the area and manifested
moose
into a bunch of baby moose that are now being
but it doesn't look like that. I was gonna say
it doesn't.
If you look at the baby moose, I can see the head, but the body
completely wrong,
doesn't look like it whatsoever. Completely wrong. Like a moose body still,
and to always be describing it on top of rocks is very interesting.
And I always like these stories too, where it's something that's not already like a pop culture thing. Like I feel like a lot of Bigfoot sightings are people that are out looking for Bigfoot, so everything's a Bigfoot.
Right.
Whereas this is just like, I saw something super, super strange out there. I don't know what it was, but it didn't look like anything I saw in zoo books or National Geographic. It didn't look like it belonged, on this planet. So I don't know.
I think it's a good little cryptid. I like that it's not something that is super, I don't know, it's not super far off to me to believe that it's real or fake. Like I like your theory about it like just coming in the veil for that short period of time, because that makes sense to me. It's like, oh, okay, definitely, because there's so many things in life where people have these one-off instances of seeing some weird thing, and there's probably so many weird fucking creatures out there, like realistically.
I mean, you throw in throw in the nocturnal aspect, you throw in the fact that it's out in the woods where humans don't go, especially at night.
Yep.
And then who knows what's in like these cave systems too.
And that's a big thing about that area, about that Bridgewater Triangle area, is it has a lot of caves underneath it. So a lot of people say that there's kind of twofold. Like, one, is it because there's a lot of rock formations down there that you're getting all of this energy, or is it two, are you getting weird fucking portals to hell down there?
Yeah, and you could go the natural cave route of these species evolved in one way or another, and we've never seen them down
because they live completely under there. Yeah,
in a completely
like the bottom of the ocean kind of shit.
Ecosystem. And then you could go down the route of if you have a high concentration of quartz or certain types of rocks and minerals that are more or less amplifiers of more high strangeness and interdimensional stuff.
Yeah,
there's a whole barrage of possibilities here. I don't think that these kids, I don't think it's a hoax. It might be a misidentification, but I don't think it's a hoax.
I don't think so either. I don't think these kids conspired. I don't think they got together and they were like, let's make this elaborate plan to talk about this shit, especially because, again, no other sightings. We don't it's not like it was made a big deal out of. So it's very, the police, when they investigated it, really brushed it off. Like, no, this is just, and I think that's probably why we don't have a lot of information about it, because they were just like, it's just a bunch of kids on their bullshit.
Yeah. And it's almost ironic how it almost gives it, from a certain point of view, it almost gives it more credibility because
they didn't. I mean,
it wasn't a mass witness event. A lot of times when people mass witness something, everyone just falls in line with groupthink and repeats what they heard their neighbors say about it. And it turns into its own farce. Whereas this is like three people separately seen at individual times within a relatively close, time frame and geographic location. It's like, you'd think one of those three people would have said, yeah, maybe it was a baby moose, or maybe it was something more natural. But all of them seem to be like, no, they drew the same thing or they described it the same way. And they're like, we don't know what that thing was. So
it looks like a gray alien that went wrong.
I feel
they were like, just leave this one here.
And it couldn't fend for itself, and it ended up dying.
The sloth of gray aliens.
But there is a lot of parallels to the way that gray aliens look, like tiny baby bodies. Hear that all the time. Weird big giant heads, big eyes.
Well, and what's one thing that the gray aliens are known for? We talked about this in our Zeta episode. They are known, they're a species that does genetic modification. That's why there's so many different versions of gray aliens. You have these tall ones, these short ones. They are a species who are known to genetically modify themselves. So who's not to say that this was just one of their, I mean this in the nicest way possible, but one of their little abortions that accidentally fell off the spaceship.
Abortions?
Yeah, it was like, this one's not growing the way we want it to. Go ahead and just flop. Let nature do its course.
It's one of
trial and error.
Babies.
Yeah, toilet babies, exactly.
A toilet baby from the Greys.
Exactly. It could be. That's a huge possibility.
I mean, the first thing I thought when I saw it was like, oh, this is like a gray gone wrong. That's pretty much what I thought when I saw the picture.
Gray's gone wild.
Do Greys have mouths?
Very small, itty bitty little slit of a mouth, if they do ever have one.
So that's another really good thing to point out, though, is that there isn't a lot of facial features at all.
Right.
Again, why this one was discarded.
It looks almost like the face almost looks like Slender Man-esque, and there's something creepy about that uncanny valley of it's not even that. It's not even close enough to something recognizable, but just big eyes and just a blank face on top of that.
It's very creepy. Yes, exactly.
Super creepy.
But that reminds me of other cryptids, though. I think that have that same type of feel.
Well, I think you have to remember too, one of the things Bobby was saying earlier about we have a hard time seeing these creatures at night because it's at night. So our eyeballs don't necessarily physically see the thing that's in front of us. It's the way our brain interprets the image and then tells us in our brain what it is we're seeing. So you have to kind of throw that in there a little bit, right? Because what if our brain can't interpret certain features on maybe some of these extra interdimensional terrestrial beings, right? And so we only see no, go for it.
I was gonna say it could be a trick of the light with something natural too.
100%.
The other way.
it could be both, but like, what if we're only seeing these big eye socket balls, right? These big glowing eye socket balls. We're not seeing any other definition or anything else because maybe it's just not something that we can perceive.
Right. My head went to like owl. Like that's where my brain went to, is owl. Because owls have talons.
And I've seen and
the way they perch and like a big giant owl.
You've never seen the owl video?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
no claws up front.
Is there a disease in birds where they don't have like feathers anymore?
Feathers, I'm sure.
Like that's the kind of thing, because they have big, wide, reflective eyes, and like that
those little bodies.
That thing would look super creepy
with no feathers.
There wouldn't be the arms?
Yeah, I was gonna say the arms is the only part that doesn't make sense, because even the wings wouldn't.
Yeah, but you there's ways to explain that, of like you just
your eyes. You're filling it
in certain ways. Because you see like legs and you see a head, so you're naturally gonna put the puzzle.
Are there a lot of owls out there?
There's
owls everywhere, but I don't know.
Those are the grays, by the way.
When I saw the feet, I thought of like a webbed something. Like
webbed.
Yeah. It reminded me of that frog man, except the frog, like if the frog man had like a big head. You know what I'm talking about? In Ohio?
No.
Pull up a picture. Pull up a picture.
Ohio has a
the Ohio frog man.
Yeah. So like everything else reminded me of that. But if the head was different, which is why I think that there are people making things, and I feel like this is the planet where you dump them on. And whoever
zoo theory.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the dominant species thrives, but other than that, you just like toss a bunch of randoms here.
Yeah. I just feel like the nighttime brings out so many things we don't know about potentially.
This is all I got for Ohio Frogman.
That's just a photoshopped frog.
I like the one with the big eyes.
That is so, I don't hate frogs, but I'm traumatized by a certain...
I love a frog.
Oh, okay, then I'll close this. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't mean to traumatize.
I'm not literally traumatized. I'll tell that story another time.
Okay. Or what about like the Fresno night crawlers? Like if they were tall.
This thing's not tall though.
Yeah,
I know, but I feel like this is just another version.
Oh,
I can't help. I always think
I don't like
everything
these at all.
Connected. Everything is connected.
All right, guys. I don't like these ones. I'm gonna show them to you, but I don't like them by any means. They're no bueno.
It looks really sexy.
That's like something out of like Resident Evil.
I don't really like that. Those look.
Yeah, but that again is obviously not like a real rendering of what they're seeing.
Yeah, but look, so
hairless.
This one color. This one right here definitely gives me the same vibe as what we're talking about. Just like maybe a baby version of it.
I've never heard of these things. They're pretty awesome, though.
The Fresno night crawlers. Oh my God. They've been seen in Fresno, of course, California, but also in Yosemite. And then there was
bonus cryptid for you guys.
There was someone in Poland that said that they saw them in Poland, but like the video footage is really shitty. So a lot of people are like, I don't know about that. But they definitely have been known in California. So Fresno crawlers that they've been seen in Yosemite.
Seems like there's a lot of footage of them.
I was like, maybe we should dive into this next, guys. Maybe this should be our next episode where we talk about this shit.
Action.
Yeah, a little teaser action here.
It reminds me, like, to me, when I saw this Dover demon, I thought
this picture right here definitely gave me vibes of that.
It's like the same gray vibe.
This should definitely be like a minor league baseball team mascot.
The night crawlers.
Yes.
I mean, look at that.
This one I can't with that one. That one creeps me the fuck out. I know it's not real, but that one I don't like.
It's just like abdomens and legs.
Yeah. It's a very legend of the Fresno night crawler.
Hairless. It's that same.
I want to know what this video footage is right here of it. All right. We'll save this. Okay. Back to the cryptid that we have at fucking hand, guys. Are we gonna factor sci-fi? We're gonna middle bitch this. I'm gonna have to go classic.
Let's factor sci-fi.
I'm gonna have to classic middle bitch it on this one with Brie. I'm gonna have to go right down the middle. I think that there's solid arguments for both sides, but I am gonna say that I do lean slightly more towards fact than I do sci-fi.
Yeah, I think so too, Jamie. I'm feeling the fact.
You feel it? You feel me? Yeah, it's like I want to be in the middle because I do. Both sides are very logical to me, but I do tend to. I'm facting it a little more. I think.
I'm facting it.
Oh, you're going straight fact.
I think
I'm facting it in the sense that it was something that's not natural, but what that is, I don't know. Like, obviously, that's kind of redundant.
But I mean, there's so many things out there that they thought were cryptids, and then they found them, and then now they're real animals.
They thought they were like supernatural.
Yeah.
Right. And so I feel like
this one, I can't.
I'm gonna fact.
All right, we're gonna fact.
I'm gonna fact it. Let's fact it.
All right, I'll fact it too because I'm leaning towards fact.
I'll fact it to the point where I think these people saw something.
These people saw something for sure.
It's not a hoax, but
fact
it might be
stamp of approval.
But again, because of what Bobby said, that you would think that other people would be like, yeah, I saw it. I saw over here. It didn't explode.
Yeah.
So to have this very precise, I saw it here, kind of gives it more validity to me. It's kind of like the fucking Mothman. Like that happened in that area, and I truly believe it because of the sightings, and everyone saw it in that area.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should factor sci-fi everything that we talk about on Bobby's Cryptid.
We try to with most things that we do. Sometimes we forget, but we try to at the end. We try to at least factor sci-fi. We try to. Sometimes you can tell us we're talking about it as we make fun of it, what our feelings are about it. You know what I mean? But we try to at least.
Let me just recap real quick why I'm facting this.
Tell me.
Okay,
break it down.
You're saying, one, a very niche point in time and place, okay, which you could make the argument that makes it not legitimate, but that makes it more legitimate for it being something of high strangeness to me, if we're accepting that that's a real thing, which I do. On top of that, I believe that animals by nature in general are elusive. There's a whole barrage of animals that are nocturnal, and then there's underground dwelling animals that come out at night. Human beings, I guarantee there's something like in Native American lore that points to something like this.
I think there was.
Shit.
Oops. Sorry.
What was it?
Was it like an AOL instant messenger
Wheel
ding?
It's Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, okay. It's like, what year is it?
Okay, what
Wheel of Fortune.
What Native American creature could it be, Brie?
No, I mean, I think that was it this
It's
one?
almost got Skinwalker vibes.
Very Skinwalker vibe.
Skinwalker vibes.
Skinwalker in its natural form.
Or it's almost
a baby Skinwalker.
It almost has a tiny bit of the Bell Witch as well, but the Bell Witch is like 10 feet tall.
Yeah,
the Bell Witch is a real thing. I thought it was just a movie thing.
No, the Bell Witch was based on a true story.
Very
true story.
Are you guys serious?
Yeah.
I'll send you some
I'll send you like 12 podcasts about it.
How about we make our own podcast?
We could talk about that in our next episode. We could talk about the Bell Witch. I would almost say the Bell Witch to me is very cryptid like although supernatural, like the Bell Witch is very cryptid to me.
That's a fascinating story. We should definitely cover it.
We'll cover that one too. All right, so finish your point.
Oh, that's pretty much it. It just boils down to the elusiveness of animals in general, nocturnal, perhaps lives in cave systems. Why would people see this thing regularly? Yeah. Perhaps it was some sort of like, outcast or one that was like decided to explore outside of its regular territory and happened to be on the road when people were driving by. I don't know. And if you think about it too, if you think about the way something would evolve underground, it would be like big glowy eyes, pretty similar to this description. Yeah. Kind of ropey and like easily could crawl around through crevices and things like that. So my number one theory, if we're not going with hoax or explainable animal, would be cave-dwelling, elusive, nocturnal creature of sorts.
Creature of sorts. And creature is wide cast.
Yeah,
Hold
I
on.
mean,
How do you
I think
pronounce this? Sorry, go
don't-
ahead.
How do we pronounce what?
Managishi?
I don't know.
Mangishi? Maneggishi.
Mangishi.
what's the context?
In their folklore, the Cree Indians speak of a race of trickster spirits that they call the Managishi.
Why don't you throw it up on the screen? Share screen.
No.
That sounds very Pukwudgie to me.
I was like, is there any pictures?
Yeah, it was the Dover. It was the Dover demon.
Oh.
Um,
So we do have a little callback to the
Yeah.
Native Americans. Can you not show us the screen you're looking at?
whatever they say is right.
Are you going to show us a little Wikipedia? Let me see.
Yeah.
Show
Hold
us.
on. Hold on. I just went back to another page.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
now I'm interested.
I like how the pandemic has made like podcasting so like casual and unprofessional now. Like
We're like,
nobody
yeah.
cares
Oh,
anymore.
sorry.
We're like,
Nobody
yeah,
cares that it
hold
sounds
on.
like a radio show. We're
You're
just,
like-
we're just gonna chit chat, and if anyone wants to listen, go for it. If not, go fuck yourself.
yeah, you know what? We're
That's
just gonna
why I wasn't
hold on
trying
while
to-
while I'm recording. I'm just gonna go ahead and Google this real quick. Yeah, that's the info.
Okay, wait,
Thank
hold
you.
on.
That's very
I
Joe
will
Rogan
share.
of us, though. He Googles everything. Jamie,
Young
can
Jamie,
you
pull
Google
it up.
that? Exactly.
Oh, you're
Share
young
screen.
Jamie.
I'm young
Share,
Jamie.
sound share. Oh, password. The fuck?
Oh
my god.
Oh shit, your shit's protected. That's at the NDA she signed.
Oh, that does look like a Dover demon if I've ever
Ooh,
You
seen
guys
one.
see?
yeah.
Okay, so the Managishi.
Manigishi.
Is that how you pronounce
Gishi. I am assuming yes.
Little people. Okay, little people. To me, this is gray, bro.
Yeah.
People
But
are
I
said to
don't-
live between rocks and the rapids. They were standing on rock walls,
Rocks,
bro.
walls.
Rocks.
I think we just might have
Wow.
solved it, you guys.
Did we?
I think we did.
Trickster behavior is to crawl out of rocks and capsize the canoes of people canoeing through the rapids. How fun.
Fun. Yeah, that sounds like a great activity.
Spinning them to their death.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
See,
It's
look
like
at
the,
this. It is
it's like the
believed
lawn
by
ride at
some.
Disney World.
Oh, they should add a
They
little
should.
Dover demon. It is believed by some that the Dover demon represents a modern sighting
Ooh.
of the Managishi.
And I think that a lot of these like Native American lore and things like that who's to say, like, some of it may have been like they came up with these stories to represent like evil spirits or like bad fortune or tricksters or something like that. And like we've talked about, the more belief we put into something, perhaps that can manifest
itself
physically from time to time, based on enough belief into the material world. So maybe it is the product of a Native American explanation of something that could be explained by something natural, but they attributed it to this mythological being. And then next thing we know, we got white kids trying to find beer in southern Massachusetts, running into them with their cars, saying, what the hell was that thing?
What the hell was that thing? Yeah. But then you also kind of have both sides of it, though. Like you have like the Native Americans also were very in touch with that side of the veil. So if anything, these are people who had very, very open chakras, right?
They
open
didn't have
eye
fluoride in the
chakras.
water.
But
They had
like,
hardcore third eyes.
so maybe this creature to them was something that they just actually saw, that this was a part of their everyday life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like we would see it as we would maybe see ghosts, like we only see these shadows of it and we know that it's there, kind of thing. Maybe that's the way they were experiencing it.
And I think that there's something to be said about like native cultures are not nearly as like individualistic. They're very like collectivist. They're like, if so-and-so in the tribe says they saw something, we all kind of I don't know, I'm just kind of speculating here. I might be
No, they
completely
do.
off
They
base.
have a very
But it's
different,
like,
they have their vibe is very much like them as a
like
whole.
a tribe
and
is
not,
its own entity. It's the sum of different individuals, but it's all kind of one homogenized
yes,
organism in a way. So once one person claims something to the group kind of accepts that
that it is what it is. Yes, because to them it's like they're their own government, right?
And that
so
gives it more power in and of itself.
Exactly. It's like, well, I've known Fred my whole life, and Fred's never lied to me. If Fred saw this is a real thing, and this is now a real thing in our life. So
Fred doesn't have a reason to lie.
Exactly.
He's accepted by his peers.
I think that people didn't like people in those situations living in the wilderness and being dependent on a small group of tribe for survival. There was very little like fuckery. There was very little like,
right?
People trying to like pull wool over eyes or manipulate people in certain ways for their own benefit, because if you got caught doing that, you would be like ousted. And maybe it is a misidentification, but again, if someone or a group of someone's come back to the tribe and describe a physical manifestation of so and so, trickster spirit or evil entity or something, and then again it becomes seated within the group, and then that group puts energy into it, and next thing we know, we have some sort of interdimensional cave dwelling
creature that they've manifested. Exactly. Yeah, it's 100%.
No, I think that's a great point, though. They don't really have a reason to make up stories like that. They're accepted by their group. People listen to them. I think people that make up stories, it's obviously because they want attention, because they're not feeling heard, because they want, people to see them. And if you don't need that, then you don't have a reason to make up fake stories and say, I saw this.
And I would go so far as to say that, granted, it's a different model of human being, like centuries ago, Native Americans, whatever. But I would argue that I would assume that things like actual mental illness was less prevalent back then.
I would assume, yeah.
Because a lot of tribal groups didn't cater to mental illness the way we do. A lot of times, you have the legends of like the trolls and stuff in New England, and certain outcasts of society, which a lot of these mythologies, I believe, come from people just being ousted by the group. Like, don't go in that part of the woods. That's where the trolls live, when it's actually like probably people with like, Down syndrome or something like that. I don't know. I'm just saying things that people that were burdens to the tribe itself or the group, the community itself. And I think a lot of these folklore come from that to some degree, but I would say, the natural diet of these people, the dependency on each other, the spirituality to begin with, the openness to the supernatural realms, like all this kind of adds up to it being all pretty legitimate.
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah, you can look at this kind of stuff kind of from like an evolutionary psychology point of view too. So I think we just broke new grounds on the Dover Demon. I think that we've said things about the Dover Demon that's never been said before. And that's what you get on Bobby's Cryptid Corner.
It's from Bobby, who's from Not From Everyone podcast, because we have yet to mention it yet.
But he's also from that One Time I Was Abducted by Aliens podcast.
Oh, wow.
He is now.
My heart just started glowing like E.T.
Like, dun, dun, dun. Your heart grew 2 sizes like the Grinch.
Like the Grinch.
I love it. All right, guys. I think that's all we have for today's episode. We finally did a cryptid. So we got one in. And I think we have a plan for our next episode. So you guys know what's coming next. Anything?
I have more ideas too for the next one.
Ooh, okay. I want to do Bell Witch, Melon Heads, freaking Pukwudgies, rakes.
I want to do air rods.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, those are fake.
You think so? But I've seen some really cool videos.
We'll debunk air rods.
We'll debunk them. I like it.
No.
All right.
Those are dust particles.
Oh, no, they're not. How can dust particles be a rod that's like, ew?
All right, we'll get into that later. Anything else anybody wants to end on other than we love you all? And
fuck you, Mountain View, California.
I was gonna say fuck you, Mountain View. I haven't said it on this one yet.
And fuck you, Bobby. But also, real quick, if any listeners out there have any spooky stories, personal encounters, ghosts, demons, Bigfoots, cryptids, anything within that vein and would like to be interviewed on Not For Everyone podcast, please hit me up on Instagram at Pinball Bobby. You can also email the podcast, notforeveryone17@gmail.com. We want to hear from you.
We love it. And we love all you guys. Good night. And we'll see you guys fucking next week.
See you
Fuck you,
next
Bobby.
week.
Fuck you, Bobby.